Basketball fans, welcome back. So the Nairobi City Thunder will be playing tomorrow in the Basketball Africa League Nile Conference. And about 2 days ago, I released a video talking about the chances that they have and what they can do so that they can be able to qualify. So I went through the Kalari Conference and the Sahara Conference. And by far, the Sahara Conference was the toughest conference that the BAL had to offer, especially in BAL Season 5. And we had to see what the Nile Conference is going to offer. So there are three scenarios that the Thunder need to take heed to so that they can be able to go ahead and qualify. And I'm going to go ahead and say this. So the best case scenario is the Thunder having a 5-1 record. So this will guarantee them either the number 1 or number 2 spot, depending on how the competition is. Then in the second best case scenario is the Thunder having a 4-2 record. So a 4-2 record will automatically guarantee them either a number 1 or number 2 spot. So 5-1 and 4-2, this one will apply the number 1 and number 2 slots. Then those are the two best case scenarios. Then the worst case scenario is them having a 3-3 record. Them having 3 wins and 3 losses. So that means, they are 1 win ahead of FS Rabat. So considering the fact that the previous, conference we saw Creole Star grabbing the number 1 third place spot, the worst case scenario is the Thunder having a 3-3 record, so they can have a better record than FS Rabat and they can sneak in at the number 3 spot. So the reason as to why I say this is the game has changed, and even from on the onset, if you look at the Nairobi Thunder's roster, you will see that the roster has changed so many times. The roster has changed throughout the months after they won the KBF title and through their Road to Bal campaign. They have changed their roster multiple times, and there are some faces that we have been seeing throughout the season, and there are new acquisitions that came in. And when I do a head count, I'm only seeing like 4 guys that were there in the original main roster for the Thunder that won the title, and the other 8 guys are coming from any new acquisition signings that were acquired recently, and people who were signed in the off season of the 2024 season prior to the new season in their Road to Bal campaign. So the Nairobi City Thunder have an uphill battle. The reason as to why I did not say that they're going to go 6-0, because that would be very delusional. This is not KBF. This is BAL. And anything can happen in BAL. The reason as to why I didn't put the Thunder winning and going 6-0 is because this is not the Thunder are not hailing from North Africa. The basketball that is being played in Kenya is not 3-point centric, and it's not basketball that is heavily reliant on 3-point shots, high IQ plays like that. So we are that team that has talent, but not as talented as the North African teams. And that's the reason as to why I didn't put the Thunder to go ahead and go 6-0. I feel like that will be a lie. But the real reason as to why I put them to go 5-1 is to give them the benefit of the doubt. I believe this roster have what it takes to qualify for the BAL playoffs. And when they qualify, they'll be guaranteed 2 games to play. So they'll play a classification game and they'll play a game in the first round in the quarterfinals, so that you can see how they can be able to do it. I can't say for sure that they're going to make it past the first round, but we'll have to wait and see how things pan out in the Nile Conference. But all in all, those are the three records I expect: 5-1, 4-2, and 3-3. If you notice, 5-1 and 4-2, those are winning records. So that means it's either the Thunder can be able to win by beating one team 2 times and beating the other teams 1 time. So that is the 4-2. The 5-1, that will mean that they'll have to beat one team 2 times and the other team only 1 time. So that's the mathematics there. Then in the 3-3, they can beat teams only 1 time each, so they can have a better record. They don't want to have like a 2-4 record. If the Thunder have a 2-4 record, that will mean that the point differential between the FS Rabat and them will be tested. And if a team in the Nile Conference has a 3-3 record on top of the Thunder, that will mean that the Thunder won't qualify, even if the Thunder had 2 wins. Seems the similar. The not even a similar case, but a test case is the Sahara Conference. We saw the Sahara Conference being one of the most competitive conferences because we saw US Monastir having a 4-2 record. Petro de Luanda and Creostar had a 3-3 record each. Then the Ville Dakar team had a 2-4 record. So even despite Ville Dakar having 2 wins and 4 losses, they finished now. They placed number 4. So they were not able to go ahead and qualify. So the Thunder, so that they can be able to qualify, the first thing that they need to do is to make sure that they have a winning record or a tie record of 3-3. Those are the worst case scenario, 3-3. Okay, I'm not saying that they're going to go unbeaten because that would be very unrealistic. Even in their Road to Bal campaign, they got beaten once by Urunani, something that was late game decisions. But Bal is a different ball game. And honestly, if you ask me, the Thunder have what it takes to go ahead and do the unthinkable. And I must say, this is the first time I'm excited covering Bal because I'll be covering a Kenyan team. And I will be making videos talking about them as well. So that's for the Thunder to be able to qualify, they have to have a record that is better than FS Rabat. FS Rabat is a phantom team that is going to be competing for the third place team in absentia because they already played their 6 games in the Kalahari Conference. So they're just waiting on what will the Sahara Conference yield, because you saw Creostar grab the third place spot with a 3-3 record. So I mean, it's going to be a tough one, but I believe the Thunder have what it takes to go ahead and do it, because I've made multiple videos talking about them. I've said, they're the best team in Kenyan basketball, and they are also there. They have tweaked it. They have tapped into the continental market, and they have done whatever it took to be able to sign quality players so that they can help them get to that next level, and also at least put Kenyan basketball on the map. Not Kenyan basketball players per se, because if you look at the Kenyan basketball players they're not as many as compared to the imports. Okay, there are many, but you can see the imports are the ones that are somewhat headlining it. And we have seen, teams go about, rebuilding and signing players so they can go in their all-in runs. You've seen the flop that was Ville Dakar, the way they had that huge power graph, but even with those signings, they still could not be able to qualify to make the playoffs. And that was very unfortunate because they looked like the favorites at some point, even before Bal tipped off. So the Nairobi Thunder in this go around in the Nile Conference, they're going to be matching up against the APR team, that is the home team, hailing from Rwanda, MBB from South Africa, and Al Ahly Tripoli from Libya. So Al Ahly Tripoli, I feel like the team from Tripoli that came from last year, like that team was great. I mean, they were able to even make it to the finals. That time they had Joel Walausil and Solo Diabate there. And this one, you're seeing John Jacques Boise, he's there. You're seeing a couple of familiar faces in that APR team. I've seen Yusuf Endo in there. We've seen also Robinson Opong. He got signed. I think it's in APR, and also I've seen MBB have made also a few key signings there. So it's going to be a tough one, but I'm optimistic in the Thunder's chances. So it is what it is. So do drop me your comments down in the comment section down below on what you think about this. And I'm going to talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out.